friend or tell us what you hate about it. I'll do down for any of it.
I know what I think I can figure out what people hate.
Waking up in the morning to
No, I think
taking
people
speech?
hate the fact that we can't send out the right place for them to watch the show. That probably sucks. That's my fault. I'll take blame for that.
Yeah, you should because there's no one else to take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people.
Fix the pad on your mic, by the way.
What?
See the pad sticking out? Just push it
Pad?
in. This thing, this rubber foam. This foam. Yeah, the foam. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. You know, I just lied to a bunch of people, told them we were going to be on Kick for the first time when we weren't.
Sorry, Kick.
You know,
But
okay.
YouTube's happy.
Yeah, I know. You got this obsession with YouTube, like they're going to love you back. You know, it's like Munchausen.
YouTube will love us back. YouTube will love
Yeah,
us.
I mean, email's a fad and everything else like that too. I mean, it's just, hey, I love YouTube. It will work out well for us. I'm sure it will. But I mean, I don't know. New things are fun to try. I mean, that's why people cheat on their wives, bro.
I'm not co-signing on that. I'm not co-signing that.
Yeah,
but I will say this. I love Kick as well. Unfortunately, with the hardware that we have, that we're using for the show, and Kick, they don't necessarily link to each other. We're using, I'll just say, we're using Yellowbox Live. Yellowbox Live has a built-in setting
That's
for
live. It's the extreme, man.
Oh yeah, Live Extreme. Sorry,
It's
Corey.
it's like the
yeah.
super duper expensive one that fucking sucks.
Yeah. Well, come on. I mean, it could work if
If it was made correctly. If it was actually a well-engineered product.
Yeah, but let me just state it right now. Yellowbox Live Extreme has built-in settings for different platforms. It has YouTube, Twitch, got some other ones. Unfortunately, it doesn't have
Show me one good review of it. No, I know you could.
Is
I
there
know
other-
that
don't know.
you're going to be
Yeah.
Mr. PC like you are
Yeah,
all the
I
time.
am.
You're going
I
to be
am
the nice
PC.
guy. Guess what?
What?
Don't let us not forget. I'm the one that convinced you that this thing would work. Now,
You bought it. You bought the best one, too.
100%. But
Yeah.
guess what? And I 100% admit this thing sucks. It sucks. Like what has you can't even use all the HDMI outputs.
Huh?
Like it literally says that you cannot use all the HDMI outputs on it. It can't even do what it says it's gonna do. When ChatGPT says randomly this product sucks, don't
Yeah.
get it. Like
How did you pick out Yellowbox Live? I honestly don't know if our audience wants to hear us talk about Yellowbox Live, but I will say this: we've had a lot of issues with it, but when it does work, it's great.
if anybody wants to send me a corrected version of it, YOLO, I'd appreciate it. But no, I've got nothing to say good about this entire thing. It's not very well.
I like your hat, by the way.
Thank you very much.
You rep in New York, huh?
No, I'm just a baseball hat fan.
Okay.
It matched with shoes.
Those shoes are dope.
Big shout out to Trent.
Can I show those shoes off?
Can you?
I could. I really
I
want
can
to.
just take one off and shit.
Look at this, guys. Corey Harrison with the go the opposite. Wait, show him. Don't show him the bottom of the shoe. Show him. Here, give me that. Give me the shoe.
Go ahead and show the shoe.
Corey is repping a Big Hoss custom made Nike Air.
Force One.
Was it Force One? These are dope. These are one of a kind, right?
Yeah, Trent made it for me. I got a buddy that designs shoes, bro.
These are dope.
He's always pretty good at them.
Wait, how did he make it? Did he actually like?
You buy a white pair of Nike Air Force Ones and he paints them.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's dope.
Gave it to me for my birthday. What'd you give me for my last birthday?
I don't even know when your birthday is. What'd you give me?
What did I get you? I did get you something.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. Didn't I? I gave you something.
No, you didn't.
There was something I did for you.
We them boys. And by the way, I want to
I
say,
got you a cake.
oh, you did?
Yeah, your last birthday. I got
Oh,
you a
all
cake.
right, thank you. By the way, I want to say sorry to Birdie's mom for making her download. I made her download Kick, and then we're not on Kick. So I'm sure she's confused right now, and Birdie's probably like, you know Birdie, because Birdie's not the most laid back person.
I promise you, I've done way more things to Birdie to apologize to her mama for than
right. But I'm saying Birdie's not the most laid back person, so I'm sure Birdie's like, Mom, you gotta switch to the kick right now.
Yeah,
So-
no, yeah. Birdie's dad's one of my favorite people in the world.
Okay. He's a mechanic, right?
Yeah, you know what? You know what he actually told me. He said,
What?
I don't know, but he very nicely defended his daughter and said that he would come find me if he ever had to. And I said,
All right.
I think I asked Birdie what fighting styles he was proficient in.
Okay. He's proficient in a fighting style?
I don't know, but I was just kind of throwing a joke out there.
Speaking of fighting styles, you know who is proficient in fighting styles?
Liam Neeson.
Yeah, Liam Neeson. And can I tell you about Liam Neeson?
Oh, I know about it.
Oh, do you know about Liam Neeson? You know his famous speech?
It was on the fly security system that I made last night.
You know about you know about his famous speech. Yeah, all right. I gotta tell you something, bro. How you gonna make you want me to feel welcome here, right? You want me to feel
Okay,
comfortable?
so hold on. Now, let me just tell you the whole story here.
Do you want me to feel welcome here?
I mean, your feelings are your own responsibility, but I feel like you should
Okay,
know that
I
you're
understand.
welcome.
You got the gate at your front of your compound locked. You got the front door locked. You got good security around here. I understand that. But the link, the passageway, I don't know if I should give this away, but like I feel like I should be able to walk into your house at any time, right?
Yeah, but you should make sure the dog don't knock over the trash can before you do it.
Okay, whatever. Dog, I walked into your house.
I'm the one that turned it on, bro.
It wasn't even that late.
No, so yeah, we went to bed kind of early last night, and you know
Why
what?
am I walking into Liam Neeson threatening me, man?
Because all right, so let's just roll it back a little bit. So I'm laying in bed, Birdie's snoring. It sounds like I hear the metal gate close. So I'm like, who's in my house? Because it means they came through the front door.
No, I came through the.
Okay,
I
but
not.
you did not make the metal crashing sound that happened prior to you entering the house.
All right.
And then I hear like a.
Why would I walk through the front door? I mean,
Well, someone like it sounded like the front gate slammed shut.
especially you're a heavy ass sleeper. I don't understand why you could even.
I wasn't totally asleep yet,
All
but
right, okay.
but like as a true man, I try to wake up Birdie and see if she hears anything, and have her go down and check for me.
Okay. You had Birdie go down. See, you know, there's been times where you weren't here and Birdie's heard weird noises, and I stood in there and I protected Birdie.
Kidding, but I was like, Birdie's hearing is much better than mine. So I'm like, all right, well, I don't know if anybody's down there yet, and I don't want to do the naked baseball bat sweep. You know, like I don't want to be going downstairs. So I just figured I'd just use the Apple Play on my phone to play the Liam Neeson speech and hear if I've heard any scuffling, which happened to be you, bro. Sorry. It was a certain amount of time, a certain amount of things happened. It was,
First of all, did people know what the Liam Neeson speech that you're talking about is? Because it's one of those threatening. It's a very threatening speech.
what would you play? I mean, I don't have the Alexa home intruder thing in the house, so like I can't.
You could just say, "Hey, if this is an intruder, get out, get out." I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of
First of all, we're in Mexico. If someone was breaking into the house, your speech should be in Spanish.
couldn't find it in Spanish. I couldn't find it in Spanish. You know what, dude? Like you know what? I was kind of operating on the fly. I'm just sitting there laying in bed.
I don't know if that's a good
It
thing.
wasn't a baseball bat either. I had a machete in my hand, just laying in bed. I'm like, I don't really want to. You know how many times I've gone downstairs?
Were you processing all these things all at once?
Yeah,
You're processing like, what speech should I give this intruder?
just would
What
like-
language should I give it to him in? Like you're processing all this at
It's all
once.
happening kind of fast, bro. I mean, just like honestly, like, what do you do in that particular situation?
Yeah, all of a sudden I'm like hearing this. I'm like walking through Corey's house. All I want to do is get some water because my water machine. I'm not gonna drink tap water in my house. I know Corey has a water machine that's full. I'm supposed to have a water machine that's full too, but it's my fault because I didn't. Birdie's really good at filling the water thing. I didn't fill mine.
You know those jugs are heavy. She can't really lift them up.
I didn't fill mine, but like I'm walking through the house, I'm thinking I'm just gonna get some water. It is a loud machine though. Like you hit the button, it's like all of a sudden I'm like, ooh, I don't know. I knew I was gonna make a lot of noise by doing that. And that's all of a sudden I hear someone telling me they have a special set of skills that they could kill me
Play the
with.
speech so they know what it is. You can play, dude, I wasn't trying to like go like full crazy on it. I was just like, I figured if there was a speech like that, someone might either be like, "What the fuck," or like run upstairs. Or
Damn,
like,
man.
So, but like, you should have said something when you heard the speech. You just sit there, just like, if I'm missing,
What am I supposed to do when I hear Liam Neeson
hey,
talk?
it's just me.
I didn't know what the speech was coming on for. I thought maybe you were watching a movie with Birdie.
But like,
I actually thought that maybe
it was on all the downstairs.
I thought maybe
speakers.
you heard a noise and then all of a sudden you were like, "Oh, this is Jairus," and then you were gonna put Liam Neeson back on. And I was like, by the way, that is a movie you would watch too. So I was like, okay,
I've seen all three of them, dude. There's
like
never
it?
been a bad taken movie. Just some are better than others.
yeah. If this is confusing for everybody, I was basically in Corey's house. He thought I was an intruder. He decided that he was going to play Liam Neeson's speech over his loudspeakers to threaten me in case I was an intruder. But if I was an intruder, I would most likely be Mexican.
While I was laying in my bed with
and I wouldn't speak English, so I don't understand.
Everybody knows what that tone means. So like, I don't know. Just figured, hey, I'll put something on down there. So it might even just say, hey, I don't want to machete someone.
Harold Mandingo loves that you did this because he gave glad I made the show. He wrote, and then he gave a speech to a potential intruder, laughing my ass off. That is fucking hilarious. Yeah, it was. It's hilarious, I guess, to listen to, but it's not that hilarious when you're going through it.
It was pure laziness, dude. I just didn't want to go downstairs, bro. Like, remember, I'm still not like at my pure 100% skill level here, dude. I don't know where I stand in a machete fight with an intruder, okay?
Yeah. Okay. Liam Neeson. Let me say Liam Neeson. How do you spell his name?
Just put Taken.
Okay. Liam Neeson's speech. That is ridiculous. Do you really think this would have worked against an intruder?
Well, and like, I'm sorry if I was breaking into your house at night and there was nothing going on downstairs, and that's the first thing that popped up hella loud. I would definitely be like, okay.
Okay, wait, ladies and gentlemen, this is what.
I mean, what's different? What's
Here,
worse?
this is what Corey played for me.
That or a burglar alarm?
So this is me walking into Corey's house. This is what I heard.
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want.
I want some water.
Looking for ransom. I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
I just want some water.
Skills I've acquired over a very long
Coming from
career.
somebody that's lived on that side of the law, that would scare the shit out of me.
Like you. If you let my daughter go now, that'll be the end of it.
This is where it got weird. This is where I was like, is he watching a movie?
I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you. I don't know who you are.
I mean, what's worse, that or a burglar alarm?
That's ridiculous.
I mean, I could have set off the panic button on my truck.
I don't know, bro. That's ridiculous.
You know what, dude? How weird would you have felt if I just would have bust downstairs naked with a machete?
I would have at least seen you and be like, yo, chill, bro. Chill. Because you would, being able to attack me right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. I just figured that was a better move than just trying to.
What's
go.
it like though? Because I know in Vegas, you guys are all like gunmen. You guys love your weapons there, and I'm used to living without weapons.
See, and that's the weird thing. I'm from Vegas, where like you got stuff planned. Like you're hoping a dude breaks in your house.
Yeah, you're hoping.
I'm in Mexico where there's no guns here. I'm like,
okay, I have to admit, like I own, not here, but I own a firearm, right? And I have a license to conceal and all that. And when you get all that stuff, when you get all of a sudden you're packing out, all of a sudden you're like, where's the heat? When's the heat coming? You're like looking for the heat.
Oh, you're buying like tactical magnets?
Yeah, I'm over here like training for it. I'm dry firing in the mirror, like.
Yeah, that stuff you don't get that down here. So like when you're sitting here in Mexico and all you got is a machete and a fucking goddamn, I don't know.
Yo, I gotta tell you, you know who Sean Taylor is? One of my favorite football players of all time. Played for Washington Redskins. Safety.
No clue.
He had.
You mean the Commanders?
Well, at the time it was the Redskins, and he he was a gunman just like you, and
I'm 132nd.
he had
I'm
someone-
136 Cherokee Indian, bro. That
But check this out, though. He had someone rob him on his property, take some stuff off his property. He aimed his gun at him, and the judge, found him to be guilty of some charge because of that, and took away all his guns. So he got robbed again, and all he had was a machete when he was off. Like, he got injured in the season, and all he had was a machete, and some kids broke into his house. And that dude had someone, and he couldn't defend himself, and they had guns, and they shot him once in the leg, and they killed him.
Yeah, so like
See what I'm saying?
that's why in the States basically stick to stand your ground states. That's all I live in.
Yeah. Well, he was in Florida. That is a stand your
in
ground
Florida,
state.
like, what do you mean Florida? Like, he got
He
in
was in
trouble.
Florida. Yeah.
Like, was he chase him down and shoot him across the street or something?
Well,
Like,
let's just say, sometimes legislation doesn't work. The legislation doesn't work for you. But like, he basically aimed his firearm at someone because they were actually robbing his ATVs on his property, and he got in trouble for that.
I mean,
And so the next time someone robbed his house, he.
I mean, like,
I guess he didn't
was he a felon? Was he allowed to not have a gun, a domestic violence, or something like
that case made the judge say you're not allowed to have guns.
that? Well, you know what? So I don't know what to say.
He never fired his gun at anybody. He never did that.
I'm completely ignorant to the whole case. I'm not
Yeah.
a lawyer, but you know what? That don't sound like my Florida. Mm-hmm. My Florida means you just get to shoot the dude no matter what.
Maybe, yeah, I know. I feel you. I feel you, dog.
Like, I don't know. When I think of Florida, I think of like Texas's little brother.
Here in Mexico, though, you don't have guns. I mean, no one here has guns. I mean, you got to use the machete. I think I should have a machete, dog. Can I have a machete?
You do.
I do. I do.
You do.
Okay, I do.
Yeah. I just like.
By the way, I've used
we've been fighting like an old married couple lately. So like, I took it out the house and shit.
Yeah. To be honest with you, I'm deadly with machete. You should see me with a machete, bro. You don't want to see me with a machete. You know?
I mean,
I'm wild with it.
Yeah, that's why you don't have one here.
Huh? My dad and I trekked through the Amazon jungle when I was 13.
To go spread religious things because your dad worked for the church, right?
We were not spreading religion in Amazon, I'll tell you that. But we had a machete. And it came in handy, bro.
Is this too rough? Can I just bring this up real quick? Because you've told me a lot of your dad's stories.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay,
I'll answer it or not.
Okay, so your dad.
Some things you got to keep family secrets.
Okay, so like, from what I understand, your dad was really a religious guy, worked for the church, right?
Yes, he was religious.
Now, I don't know how you raise a family of 4 in Connecticut off church money salary.
Uh-huh.
Now, and I don't know why you guys he's taking you to like war zones and it's like leaving
I'm not gonna smile. Hold
Okay,
on.
like,
Let me get rid of my smile
can I just
first.
throw
Hold
it
on.
out there, like,
on.
why are you going to Haiti with him after an earthquake and getting put away somewhere? Well, your dad is like, hey, I'll be back in a day, son.
Let me just say something.
What was he doing there? Like, what's your dad do? Like, Connecticut's an expensive place to live for the church.
It is a very expensive place, especially where we live.
Your mom didn't work,
No, she didn't.
so your dad raised a whole family with a stay-at-home wife off church money, going out to
Well,
what?
Corey, I will say this though. He had a very special set of skills. Okay. I don't know if I could talk about those skills on this show.
It wasn't converting people to Christianity, bro.
I would say that was probably true.
And I don't know what your dad was doing, bro, but he sure did seem to talk a lot about like doing stuff in Vietnam too.
He did have a very special set of skills, Corey. And,
And they taught him in Vietnam.
I will say this to anyone out there though. I do not have those skills, and I wish I did.
I think he was trying to teach you, and he just gave up, bro.
There
think
was
that's- I
when
think that's
I
why
was
he
in
brought you those
Belize.
places.
When I was in Belize, my dad hired this weird guy we met in Belize City to take us out into the jungle for some reason on a boat. And while we were trekking through the jungle once again, trekking through the jungle.
Now, does this sound like? Well, let's start here. For where's your starter? Does this sound like somebody who makes their living off working for a church?
Once again, you have a very special set of skills. Yeah.
Okay,
But yo, this is true though. We were trekking through the jungle. I noticed the guy had a 9mm, handgun in the back of his shirt. He was tucking it away. And I whispered it to my dad because he was in front of us. I was like, yo, I think that guy got a gun on him. My dad was like, you saw a gun? I was like, yeah, I definitely saw. I saw like the grip. of the gun popping out of his pants. And this is a true story. And so my dad took over right in that moment. I knew my dad was. This is where I
So then
learned.
your dad had a gun?
No, this is where I learned This is where I learned how to be like use your brain to get out of situations, not just be like, My dad walked up to the guy. He's like, "Hey," he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "I saw that gun in your, I saw that gun in your pants." And the guy was like, "What?" It was like, my dad was like, "Yeah." My dad was like, I was in the military. I was in Vietnam." He goes, "Can I see that gun?" He goes, "I'm a big gun fan." Like, so the guy pulls out his gun. And my dad's like, "Oh, can I check it out?" He was like, "Yeah." And my dad just goes, "This is all." He goes, and he called out the model and everything. He was like, "I love these guns." And he just aimed it into the jungle. And my dad was like, "Pop, pop, 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 pop." And he just shot off all the rounds. There's another round. My dad goes, "Jerris, you want to shoot around?" And I remember he gave it to me, and I was like trembling because I never shot a gun before. So my dad handed me the gun, and I was like,
Hey, so let me just ask you real quick. I'm just going to interrupt you real quick.
Yeah.
So, like, how many Mormon missionaries do you think actually do that? How many missionaries? Okay, so you're traveling for religious church purposes, making a lot of money with the church, supporting a family on the church, and you're gonna tell me that you don't find that weird? That your dad just like, hey, disarmed a dude, emptied out all his bullets in a jungle somewhere, and like, I'm not like, I mean, I don't know what, I wasn't there, I don't know what's going on. I'm just saying, you tell me these stories, you tell me about your family.
This is a true story too. But at the time, I was like,
you never thought of this? Like, okay, well, what kind of church did you guys go to?
And Corey, you know me well. You know me well. You know what I was thinking the whole time? I was thinking like, oh, this is a great opportunity to learn how to shoot a handgun. I wasn't even recognizing the context. You know I'm like that. You know I'm like that. That's all I was.
I'm just throwing it out there. They don't sound very Christian of him to be doing like because that's what all the church going folks I know do. I mean, like, especially ones that work for the church. They get a paycheck from the church.
The guy was pissed that we shut off his whole magazine. We shot his. We wasted.
Did you ever see the guy again?
No, we wasted his whole magazine, right? And he was pissed, obviously, in the moment. My dad was like, "Hey, when we get back into Belize City, I'll buy you more bullets." And obviously,
oh, your dad knew where to buy bullets in Belize
no,
City? No,
obviously that wasn't true because there wasn't even a way to do that. But the guy was like, "Oh." So my dad did. I'm pretty sure my dad probably did give him money for his bullets. Pretty sure.
So like, how much did you see this guy after he drove you guys there?
That was the first.
Did your dad send you ahead?
That's the one and only time we saw.
Did your dad's like, "Hey, get off the boat, Jerris. I'm going to talk to this guy"?
No, but my dad had friends. My dad had friends in these countries, these third world countries that were like characters, dog. I'm telling you, they were characters. Like in Belize, Haiti, Brazil. We had
assets.
I don't know what.
Your dad either sold coke or he was like killing people for the government, bro.
I don't think he was. But.
Okay, so you think he was out there just spreading the word of Jesus Christ, huh?
My dad loved. I'll tell you what. And my dad never liked to talk about stuff, though. Never.
Yeah, because
he wanted me to experience stuff with him as a kid. Never liked to talk about it. I think you could tell. I think you could ask all my siblings that, like, in the same question, and they'll probably.
So like you and your brothers and sisters have never sat down and like talk to each other about this. Like, hey, what did Dad really do for a living?
We did.
So just tell me your dad's job description.
We did talk about that, but we also like there's so many other things that we have gripes about that like that's like the last on the list. You know what I mean? It's like our dad like in terms of like communication and stuff. Yeah, my dad didn't communicate a lot.
Do you
but
want to know like what a traumatic childhood this like thing seems like where you guys were just like blocked out the fact that your dad took you to third world countries and like
I agree.
And, like you guys,
I agree with you.
You can't even tell me what he did for the church.
I agree with you. I agree.
You're like you've never one time.
I don't know if my dad was just trying to live out his own weird like fantasy of like wanting to trek through the jungle.
So you have a child,
huh? Yes, I do. Yeah.
Now, what your dad?
And I want to be the total opposite.
Your dad had 3, right? 3 children?
Yeah, 3.
Okay,
yeah, but he had my mom had kids when he married, so he was like a stepdad, but he ended up. But
and your mom didn't work, right? Your mom didn't work.
What?
Your mom didn't work.
No, she didn't. Yeah.
No rich grandpa, nothing like that you guys had that just like funded anybody that you know of or anything?
No. There's definitely no rich grandpa.
Okay, so like
yeah.
So this dude, he didn't own a church, right?
Yes, he started his own thing. Yeah.
Okay, and like, and did you guys go to that church?
Uh-huh.
How many people were there on the average?
There weren't a lot.
Was there enough to support a family of 4 in Connecticut with a stay-at-home mom?
No.
Okay.
No, definitely not.
You've never, I'm just going to ask you. Like,
I'm
hey,
just
have
hoping
you,
I'm not like
have you
incriminating.
have you never thought of this?
Yeah, I have thought about it, but at the time, you know, when you're a kid and things
So
are.
I'm just now, God rest his
But
soul,
what-
whatever. Like, I'm not trying to just
Yeah,
talk ill of the
you know,
dead.
like when you're a
I'm
kid
just
though,
gonna-
things are so confusing that you kind of like just.
But you never like thought about it as an adult, dude. You're 40-some odd years old. Like,
Oh,
you're-
I thought about it, but then I realized like it's just so confusing. It's like I don't even want to think about it.
Your dad was either doing dirt or your dad was doing dirt for the government. It's one of the now. Considering the fact that he was a special ops guy in Vietnam, I'm just saying, hey, I don't need to
He
know.
didn't even
what-
like to talk about Vietnam too. You know what my dad did do though? He did give me like his Vietnam memorabilia, like his or what do you call it? Is it memorabilia or paraphernalia? I don't know. The
Paraphernalia is like I think it's something to do with
drugs.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay, so it's memorabilia, but it wasn't that much. It's just like I cherish this stuff. I have like a few pictures of him in the war. I have him like hang with his shirt off, hanging with his boys in Vietnam. You know, I have like that stuff.
Do you have any
Yeah.
tattoos?
My dad never had any tattoos. No.
Okay, I'm just like I gotta ask. Like, so
And
like,
my dad didn't do any drugs either. He told me one time he smoked weed in
okay, so
Vietnam,
let's
and that
make-
it was
I'm
a bad
I'm
move.
not trying to be like
Yeah.
your psychoanalyzer here, bro. But I'm
Yeah.
just gonna throw. So your dad lied to you a lot, right? So like, anything he said he didn't do any drugs. So like, how do I know that? How do you know that? Your dad told you he made all the money working.
He
for
didn't do any drug. He was very anti-drug. He was.
Oh, really? During the '80s, rolling around in jungles. in
No,
South America?
he admitted to me though that he
Hold
did
on,
do.
hold on,
He
real
did
quick.
smoke
I
something
think-
in Vietnam. He
think,
said
I
that.
think we're getting somewhere. He was very drug in Belize and Colombia and stuff like that, and like Haiti, like in the '80s and stuff. Like he was out there doing special things
Yeah.
and shit.
I know. What was that
Okay,
mean
like,
though?
I don't know. Like I mean, hey,
But you can understand that I can't write any story about it. I don't know what was going on.
you don't need
I
to
can
write
come
a-
up with a theory.
well, I mean, either he was the most highest paid, or the highest paid church guy in the world
Yeah.
with like very.
Oh, that's not true because there's church guys who get paid millions upon millions.
But like, so your entire
I like that hat, by the way. Go.
But for your entire childhood, though, your dad supported a family off a church worker's salary
Yeah.
and went on random horrible place missionary things and
Yeah.
you know, like just like steadily de-armed people on boats and stuff, huh?
Yeah.
And I'm like wondering how you and your sister never talked about this.
Can we
ever.
call my sister in as a guest?
I mean, this sounds like a family thing. You guys might want to like talk about personally before.
I know, maybe.
Like I feel like this is the first thing I would think of.
Yeah. My brother, who is technically my half brother, I don't consider, no one in my family considers him my half brother. He's a lot older than me. He is much more open to like the details because he was older when this all was going
What's he
down.
say?
Yeah, so like sometimes my brother will say things to me like when we're talking, he'll be like, "Remember when Dad did?" And he has more of like I was a kid that was just going through life worshiping my dad. I didn't really think about stuff. But like my brother coming into this, my brother loves my dad like his father though. He does.
Yeah.
But my brother was older and he was more analytical and he definitely will bring up details of stuff and I'll go, I'm like, what? That happened? And I'm like, what? Like it's crazy because like
I got friends
my
that
brother's
are-
like, you were there, dog, and I'm like, I don't even. My brain just wasn't tuned in.
So I got friends that are Mormon, they're like Mormon missionary guys, and like, dude, they ride their bicycles around. They go meet a bunch of group of people.
Nah,
and they're
that's
like,
not what
and
they're
they-
doing.
and they're like, hey, you want to become religious
Yeah.
with me and find my religion? And hey, check
Yeah.
this out.
Yeah.
Like, that's the missionary I think of in my
Yeah,
head.
me too. That's what you should think of, but that's not
So
what.
what was Pops doing over there? And all
That's a
these
good
places,
question.
all these places with the devil's dandruff, just like going free
That's
in
a
the
good
80s.
question. That is a good question, bro.
Like I'm just kind of weirded out that you never thought about this yourself.
Yeah,
You're a pretty smart guy.
yeah.
I mean, like I love how but you can be intentionally oblivious sometimes.
Yeah. By the way, someone just asked what the subject is tonight. I think we should give him a subject. It was up to Birdie's mom again. I'm gonna give a shout out to Birdie's mom. I'm sorry we had to switch you from Kick to YouTube.
The subject is quite honestly, hey, I thought Jairus was breaking into my house. I used a impromptu security system.
Yep.
And now we're talking about, quite frankly, Jairus's dad might have been like some kind of like CIA kind of like, hey, some kind of. Your dad probably was out there killing people.
No, I don't think so. Can I just say something too that happened? This is true, and I don't even know how to say this. Damn.
You guys have the family circle of trust.
My dad bought land in Belize.
He what?
He bought land in Belize in the jungle, and let's just say there was people that would squat on the land, but that's all right. People would build a hut on the land. It's in the middle of the jungle, so it's like you can't really do
The
anything.
Cobb family circle of trust. Are you violating that?
Well, let's just say someone that built a hut on the land,
Was a farmer?
whatever, I don't know. But he built a hut, and that was fine. My dad didn't care. We became friends with the guy. Yeah. But let's just say one day, a thing was dropped from the sky and landed in this guy's backyard.
Oh, so I know.
And this guy was naive to what was happening, and so he took that package, and then someone came to pick up that package, and this guy tried to negotiate with the guy who was trying to pick up the package, as if there was like a real negotiation going on. It's like, I need to get this, and there was no negotiation, so he ended up getting offed. And my dad told me one day, and I was like, "What?" I was blown. I was like, my dad told me why, and I was like, "Wow." I was like, "Damn,
bro, your dad didn't work for a church."
No, that's not that. My dad didn't think that had anything to do with.
Your dad didn't.
I swear to God, Corey, if this is real, what you're saying to me, I'm gonna have to I don't even know. I have to reevaluate my whole life.
I'm okay. Like, what if I were to tell you this same exact story and you were looking at me across the table?
Mm-hmm. I have friends too whose parents were like weird like that I've talked to that were like, yeah, one day my dad took me to like Tijuana, and I was like, what are we going to Tijuana for? It was like, oh, shut up. It's like sometimes your parents take you on these trips to like shut up, and they don't know what's happening. I was like, I can relate to that because my dad would do that. Like there was a lot of hush stuff. It was like, don't talk about that. And my dad would always tell me this is why we're here. But then I was like, if I ask you questions,
I'm just saying you might want to like relive. So that talk to your therapist or something. I know you have one. Like talk to your therapist about, hey, this seems kind of like weird. I don't know much about your family life, bro, but I'm just gonna throw it out there. Hey, your dad. I mean, like must have been a high-paying church.
What up to Tim Malcolm?
What's up, Tim?
There's no high-paying church.
Well, I mean, to live it to a family of four with a stay-at-home mom is doing pretty well in Connecticut.
Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
Hey, I did have some good experiences though that you can't like ever learn like in a school or anything. I always feel like the best education.
We're all
is
places
in the world.
You and your dad go to when you were kids, like that.
We went to Brazil, Haiti, Venezuela.
Okay.
That's where
Any
I
particular
believe
reason he chose these places in the 1980s?
I thought my dad always told me he liked warm climates. He liked the jungle. He liked places with a jungle.
Colombia at all?
I never been to Colombia. No.
Oh, okay, but so your dad obviously went on these trips without you too, right?
Yeah, he did. I'm not sure if he ever.
How much time did your dad stay away from home?
He would travel for like weeks at a time.
Okay. I mean, if I was telling you this story, what the fuck would you be thinking?
I feel like if that was true, what you're saying, I would have a better set of skills. I don't have any set of skills.
I mean, like, it sounds like he was kind of an absentee dad, but it sounds like
he was not an absentee dad. No, he was always
okay. So, but he did bring you to the jungles. Like, sometimes,
Yeah, he did bring me to the jungle.
I'm one of those guys where like, hey, if Jimmy Page sat there all day long trying to teach me how to play guitar, I'm not gonna know how to play guitar, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like
I can see it like working around
I feel like
in your head like a
I feel like you might have some experiences you can relate to like this. I mean, I don't want to get into anything too deep, but like your parent, I
Yeah,
mean, your dad owned a pawn shop. Let's face it. There
yeah,
had to be
my dad owned a pawn shop.
on
Yeah,
the
like,
strip,
it was
yeah.
pretty. We pretty much know what goes down with like
Yeah.
in my life.
So I
There's
feel
a
like-
whole,
yeah.
Rick Harrison licensed a pawn. Buy the book. You'll read the whole thing.
Okay.
But I'm just. It's like I can see in your head, like your cheeks are sitting there where you're like, "Fuck."
Yeah, that's how you got me thinking. I'm like, damn. I'm gonna have to like, dude. You know what sucks when your parents die though? It's like you can't ever like. I remember whenever I have a question about where I was confused about something, I could at least call my parents and be like, "Hey, what was that?" They might lie to me, but they might give me some insight because I'm a little older. But you can't do that after they're dead.
So what, like a Green Beret or something? What was your dad's like? He was
No, he wasn't Green Beret. He was infantry though in Vietnam. He was like he was on a boat, like a river rat, doing like those things.
But we went to a place with a lot of rivers, huh?
Mekong Delta.
Okay.
My dad wanted,
But
and
there's a lot of
I never got to
rivers.
do this. My dad always wanted to go back to Mekong Delta and see if he could still navigate because he said he knew those passageways.
Look,
Like,
your dad very well might have worked for a church and got a very handsome paycheck to do what he did. I'm just saying, if I had to guess, like if someone were describing somebody to me, there's shade about this situation. Like there's something about that. There's something about this situation that, like, I mean, I'm not. Hey, and you know what? I'm sure he was a great dad, great guy, anything else. But I'm just saying, it's kind of funny, and it fits your personality type to where, hey, I didn't see that. I have no idea. Like it says, like you seem like the kind of guy who would block that out of your head.
yeah, but don't you think like also because I know with me and you always try to like you always want me to pick up on like subtle hints or innuendos and stuff, and I'm always like, I don't. Always
You're a grown man. Can you afford to have 2 kids in Connecticut with your old lady staying at home?
I don't know. yeah.
You support a family of 4 at
Yeah.
home in Connecticut.
Yeah.
While you went to random places as
Yeah.
a missionary for a church.
Yeah.
It's not a hard thing to pick up.
That's true. So I feel like, yeah. So I guess like your child could go 2 different ways. Either like you like block shit out, and then like you don't pay attention to anything, and you're just like whatever, da 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 da. Or you're super hyper aware of everything, and like you are, because I feel like you pick up on every subtle cue in the book, man. I feel like someone can't even like go like if someone's like it's like subtle cue, and you're like bam, you're
What
on
kind
it.
of high school? What happened to counselors or teachers? What did you go to school with? Like no one picked this up. Like
No. That's crazy stories, dog. I got some crazy stories too. I was good at blocking shit out. You know what though? When you're in the jungle, let me tell you something right now. I want to tell people this. If you're ever in a situation where you are suffering, right? And you're in the jungle, for example, and you got nothing. You're like,
first of all, why am I in the jungle?
that's not even the point. Let's say you're in a situation where you are in a place where it is rough. You're suffering. You got none of your things that you use to cope with You got no video games, no internet, no cell phone, no air conditioning. You got nothing, right? I learned how to cope with that. And I think that was the dopest part about traveling with my dad, because he would put me in situations that I was like, I got nothing to cope with what I got at home. Got nothing. I learned how to focus on one thing every day that would make me happy. And I learned how
Do you
to
realize how abnormal this whole thing sounds that you're saying right now? Like everything you're saying to me right now, this sounds like
I
you're
just tell you might need this.
Why
set
were
of
you in the
skills.
jungle?
That's a good question. My dad always said he wanted to be there, and I liked it. I did get excited to like trek through the jungle. That's actually a cool thing. If someone says we're gonna trek through the Amazon, I was like thinking like, oh, this is like, yeah. My dad
Why would
hyped
he
it up.
leave you alone?
Huh?
Did you told me before he left you alone in the jungle sometimes for like a day or something?
No. He never. Well, he would. Anytime he left me alone, I was in a
In
secure.
Haiti?
Whenever he left me alone, I was in a secure spot.
So your dad just knew where the secure spots were.
Yeah, like
And
I was in a secure situation. You know what I mean? He wouldn't like just leave me alone in an insecure. Like,
So your dad just had secure spots in the jungle?
Yeah, like there was secure. There was like secure spots where like we were around people that were safe. Yeah,
Yeah, your dad just had random friends in the jungle that it's just safe. You know, just like
yeah. And you know what? I can't. My siblings can't even relate to this. I'm the only one that went
like
on
either
these.
your dad was starting coups or your dad was selling drugs.
Dude, when we were in Haiti, there was a coup going around. I remember every night we heard gunshots, and my dad was like, I was like, oh my God. We stay here like, da, 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 da. Right? And then the next day on the news, it was reported that the government building shot
at
at.
home. I need you guys to ask if you've been listening to this long. Can someone please tell me is that Jairus' father was a missionary for a church, brought him to the jungles, left him alone for some times, in all the places in the 1980s where you probably didn't want to be, and disarmed a guy on a boat one time in front of him, and was able to afford to feed a family of 4 while his wife stayed at home and was constantly going out on these missionary missions.
I can tell you a lot of weird things, dog. Yo, there's a coup going around in Haiti every night, and every night like we heard machine guns right in Port-au-Prince. My dad next morning, I was like, my dad would be like, yeah, the machine gun fire that you heard was from.
Who takes their son to a place that's literally named hell?
I don't know. So they were firing at the
During a
government
coup.
building, like the equivalent of like our government building. They were like this coup was going around in a truck, like firing. They were also killing like people, like local people they thought were probably like their political enemies. And I remember waking up and being like, Dad, this is crazy. I remember being like, should we be here? Like this is nuts.
This is where your dad takes you.
And my dad was like, Juris. He always would go like this to me, like, Juris, we're fine. We're fine. There's nothing. We know where to go. We know where to move. We're fine. And I'd be like, all right.
He's gonna what? Turn him over to Jesus?
That is a coup, though. Oh,
Hey, you know what, son? We're gonna go to this place.
and
where
back
there's
then,
a
I didn't even know what a coup was.
We're gonna go to a place that's literally named Hell, and where there's a military coup. And like maybe I won't be noticed if I have a kid with me on while I'm traveling.
Yeah.
And I work for a church. Yeah, that's a good.
Also, my dad would be like, Juris, also don't tell your mom about this because she doesn't
oh
understand.
yeah, don't tell your mom. Yeah, that's,
He would always be like, by the way, I was the only one of my siblings that my dad would take me on these trips with. My sisters, nope. My brother, nope. I was the only one that he would take. Yeah.
Now I'm just so once again, like, does this sound normal?
No. But that was also what was appealing about it, though. Like, I felt like, yeah, my dad's taking me to this shit. But I felt like, yeah, he can navigate this stuff. I thought that was
you have a
dope.
son, dude. When your son's like 12 years old, should I bring him to a place where there's a coup going on? And if it's like we're going to go trek through the jungle while there's a coup going on in literally a country called Hell?
Yeah, no. I wouldn't recommend this, but
What if one of your best?
I know
what if one of your
I
friends?
know the mother of my child would never approve of this stuff.
What if any of your friends said that? Hey, I'm gonna do this with my kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, there's so many
Is
crazy.
there gonna be some kind of like conversion that he's trying to do there? He's gonna get him baptized.
There's some good times too, though. There was one time I was in Belize in the jungle. We were staying at this peninsula called Gales Point, and there was no electricity stuff. And I was only like 15 or 16. I ran into this American woman and her daughter, my age, were walking through the jungle and her and I just locked eyes.
You lost your virginity.
Oh yeah. I was like,
Yep. Your dad set
it
that
wasn't
up.
even like a thing. It was like her and I were just
Your
we
dad
just
set that up, bro.
no. It was like this. Her and I saw each other, and we just instantly knew this was going to be something because, like, we were both like so out of touch with like what was going on, and so I was like, "Hey," and she was like, "Hey," and I remember she came up to me. She goes, I was like, she's like, what are you doing? I remember there wasn't no like real introduction either. I remember she was like, I was like, I'm going into the city with my dad. She goes, I'll be back here. Meet me. She was like, meet me here at 8:00 tonight. And I was like, okay. And like we met, and it was just like there was like no conversation.
Okay. So like this is not normal behavior, bro. Like, this is not normal. Like I'm just saying, like, hey, to your dad. Like he pulled it off.
Yeah.
Lived a long, happy life. I've never seen your sister or your other brother, but it seems like he had really relatively decent kids.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah, he did. But I'm
I'm
saying
just-
like
just
I'm
throwing
the
it
only one that he put through
I'm
this.
just throwing it out there. Like, you might want to look into this.
Yeah.
Hey, where's your dad when Kennedy got shot?
That's a good question.
With Noriega?
So there was some good times too. I remember one time this guy and we were in the jungle. This guy came by on a bike and he was like ringing a bell and he was like coke, marijuana. He was like yelling. He was naming like all these drugs he could sell. And I remember I was sitting there. I was only a teenager, and my dad looked at me. He goes, "Jairus, don't buy any drugs from a guy on the bike." And I remember going, I was like, "What? I would never buy drugs."
Don't buy any drugs, period.
Yeah, I remember it was the exact word. I remember thinking like, you didn't say buy drugs. You said don't buy it from that guy on the bike.
Your dad was like giving you a nudge, bro. Like,
He was like, I remember he was like, don't ever buy drugs from a guy who's riding a bicycle. And I remember being like, all right, Dad, I feel you.
Yeah.
That's good advice. I knew that was good advice.
Like,
though.
what- like,
You
okay.
know that's good advice, right?
I mean, like, dude, see,
That's good
I grew up
advice.
in Las Vegas, dude. Like, you bought most of your drugs off a dude on a bike.
You did.
like, you know, dude, like back, 20
Yeah.
some odd years ago, dude, I was, but most people I knew that I bought drugs on only had a bike.
But like in New York City though, that
And it was
trained my
stolen-
brain though.
it
Because
was
when I got
stolen and
older,
spray painted as well. Like,
yeah, right? That trained my brain though. Because when I moved to New York City, whatever, like and let's face it, like everyone bought weed and stuff back in the day. But like, just my dad telling me that whenever a guy was like on the street, because in New York there was like street hustlers a lot. They're not there anymore. But like back in the day, New York City was like, hey, you want guy would come up to me like, hey, you want some drugs? You want some weed? You want some coke? Like that. I was always like, if I wanted that, I'm not gonna buy it off you, bro, because I knew that was a bad move. You don't know where you get. You gotta trust your dealer. I'm just saying. That's what I learned.
I'm just kind of shocked. Like, hey, don't not buy. If you're gonna buy drugs, don't buy drugs from the guy on the bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not good advice.
It sounded like he was almost like, hey, buy them from me.
No, he was telling, but what he did follow up though. He said,
"Did your
that,
dad give you a kilo and a 45 for your 18th birthday?"
no,
bro?
my dad did tell me though, like those guys could be like they could be working for the government, they could be undercover. Like he's like
So basically, guys, the guys that are watching right now, I've basically turned the topic of the show to we're gonna get into Jairus' inside life. We're gonna get to know Jairus right now because I am, I'm not buying his backstory. like it's like witness protection program, something like that.
there's
going
nothing
on.
going on like that. And
Nothing.
I would have loved to have known that. And you know what? I gotta admit though, my dad was good at keeping secrets. If there was a secret,
bet.
yeah, he would have cut that secret. I wish he would have told me though right before I wish there was something like he was like Jairus, right? Because my dad passed away. I wish he would be like Jairus' son. I have to tell you. I'd be like, okay, cool. I would have been like, oh, here, like, tell me.
I mean, just the math don't add up. Like just basically the simple, like just put it on paper. Pro and con. Was your dad really working for a church, or was he up to something? No, he might have been working for the good side and maybe trying to eliminate stuff, but I don't really see that your dad was just working or running a church or had a church and then, hey, let me just go to hell or Haiti during a military coup and just have my son go hang out with some other people for a minute. Like your dad just had assets. Did he call them assets?
No, he didn't never
Your
say
dad already knew these people, though.
No,
when
he
showed
didn't
up.
say assets.
Did your dad know these people before you showed up?
He knew people, yes, before he
Okay,
showed
so your
up.
dad just knows all these people just
Yeah, he
hanging
knew
out, like-
people before he showed up. Yep. He always knew people before he showed up. And that was blew me away. It's like he always had like a way of like intercepting, like getting in and then knowing who. But that means you are, because you do that same thing too, bro. You make friends real easy over here. You do. You kind of remind me of my dad, to be honest with you. Fuck, what should I say about that?
I mean, I think you and your therapist got to have a few things to talk about, bro.
Maybe.
When
I was in Brazil,
I think you and your sister and your brother got to have something.
when I was
to
in
talk
Brazil, my dad loved that. We went into like this area that was a bad part of town, and in Manaus, and we were playing craps, and he
about. Oh, what a religious man!
he was
just out there
entertained.
gambling. Just, like,
He was
just
entertained. I was playing craps for like a bunch of like
The
older
missionary, the
dudes.
Christian missionary is out there just shooting craps with his kid in Brazil, huh?
Yeah, that's normal, bro.
Totally normal shit, right?
Any other missionaries can relate to me? Nah, Dad was legit. Leave that man out of this. Someone wrote. Yeah. Robert TR 2585. Oh, Robert TR 258 wrote bike drugs, car drugs.
Just throwing it out
You
there.
do got some good. Hey guys, I think we love all the comments here. So if you guys have any questions too, let it fly because this is.
I just want to know, like, what you guys heard
and
all
Corey
the
is kind
information
of like my therapist right now. So
I'm just saying, like, this is everything I know about Jairus's, childhood, his family life at home, and you guys tell me, like, I don't believe that his dad just worked for and had a church, and just did whatever kind of crazy missions, like de-arming people on boats, just always had like people there. Like, what the fuck is he in Haiti for during a coup?
I don't know. And to be honest with you, I'm not creative enough to make these stories up. So
I'm sure you're not. Like, you're not. I know you're not lying to me about it. I just
Yeah,
kind
I'm
of
not
look at it
lying.
like. But here's the thing I deal with, guys. This dude really will sit there and tell me stories about this, and I'm like, that makes fucking sense to you, bro. The fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
you know what the perfect formula my dad had though was that whenever I was also in Connecticut, right? So I was around all these like upper middle class, let's face it, upper middle class white people, and I always thought my lifestyle, what I do with my dad it's a little bit off from what these people are doing, working in these corporate, it was like my parents had corporate jobs and everything like that. And I was like, I knew already they wouldn't be able to relate. I'm just coming into my own record. I can
Like,
tell
did your
these
dad ever
stories.
show up at your school for career day and tell everybody
Nah.
about what he did?
And I never wanted to tell my
The
friends
best
what
of
my
your
dad
knowledge,
did.
tell me what your dad did for a living.
My dad,
You are
my best-
46 years
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Tell me what your father did for a living, Jairus.
I don't know, but shout out to Birdie's mom right now. I
think
I feel like Birdie and her mom could relate to me a little bit. I don't know why. I just feel like
throwing
they
it out there.
could.
Like, tell me what your father did for a living. What did he tell you? Like, hey, Dad, what do you do for work? Like, that never came up one time in your childhood.
No, because my dad was really good at not giving me information, and then he acted like I wasn't a privy to that stuff.
But I mean, like,
whenever I
don't
want to-
your teacher ask you at school, like, what's that?
No, whenever I want to know something too, my dad would be like, maybe one day I could tell you, but I can't tell you something. Like, he always, even if it was like, hey, tell me about
Your
grandpa.
dad said that, huh?
Yeah, my dad would be like, tell me about grandma and grandpa. So I'd be like, Jairus, there's a lot of things I don't want to talk to you about because I
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not a red fucking flag right there.
did you tell me about you though? You like your parents didn't do that?
No, man. Like, I knew what my parents did. My family owned a pawn shop. It was
Right.
super easy. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, when grandma was a Rolling Stone at one point. No one knows who mom's dad was, but
Yeah.
they're never gonna find that out. Yeah, but like, that's pretty much super simple. Like, Pops worked at the pawn shop with his dad.
Yeah.
So did my uncle. My other uncle was kind of like out there kidnapping
Yeah.
monkeys and shit. And
Yeah. By the way, Sam Barham's on tonight. Sam Barham 823. He was a big character in our last show, and he said, "What's up, guys?" Robert TR 2585. What you drinking tonight? I will say, I'm always drinking tequila. Sometimes Corey's vodka, but I love tequila.
I'm drinking Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid.
Yeah, I'm drinking Kool-Aid, guys.
Who's the blackest one here?
It's
I
not,
grew up in
it's not gra-
Connecticut.
It's not grape.
Huh?
It's not purple.
Yeah,
It's not
you
purple
like
Kool-Aid.
Sam Barham 823. Got that gym out tonight. Had to come back. Come check out the Hoss Camp.
Welcome to the camp, guys. You guys tell me where you guys want to take this conversation, because I'm really curious to know what you guys think Jairus' dad did for a living. Because Jairus, like, he's still, like, you don't want to know.
I do want to know now, but he's dead now. How do I figure that out?
Instacheck.com or something like that.
And my mom, I would go to her, but now I can't go to her.
Your older brother.
He doesn't know. He would have told me already.
You ain't got no uncles.
My brother loves to analyze our childhood and figure out what happened.
Uncles or anything like that. Like his.
No, I do, but like my dad was also not close with his family, so there you go. Like
It's the lifestyle, you know.
it is. I know.
Yeah. Have you ever Googled his fucking name even?
Yeah. Yes, I did. He died not ever having anything on his record, dog.
Nothing ever, huh?
My ex actually did research on my family. She found out a lot of cool information about my family that I didn't even know, like where they migrated from. Turns out I come from a long line of housekeepers from England. That's true.
Well, you know what? That gene did not carry over with you because you're the messiest asshole, like the most.
I'm the messiest.
I'm just saying, like you don't even close cabinets.
That's true. That's true. I do have an issue with that. Your pops works for the CIA. Jairus, go ahead and spill that tea. Sam Barham, 823, bro. Jairus, go ahead and spill that tea. Your pops work for the CIA. If he worked for the CIA, then it would be like, I don't think he worked for CIA, because you ever watch that movie with Tom Cruise in it where he gets hired by the CIA?
So, you guys, I want you guys all to know this. This is what I work with all the time. Like, this dude is comfortably oblivious about certain things in his life. Like,
I want to be happy.
This guy will go to sleep tonight thinking his dad just works for a church and got sent out to war zones for, missionary work.
But I don't want to go to bed like thinking like, I like to have a peace of mind, bro. But let me tell you something. What's that movie with Tom Cruise where he was a pilot and then he gets hired by the CIA?
The one where he sold drugs?
Yeah. What's the name of that movie?
Where they drop packages out of the sky?
What's the name of that movie?
I don't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but the one where he had a piece of land where they just like drop shit out of a plane onto the piece of property and like they.
Huh?
Isn't there something in that movie where they like drop something out of a plane?
Yeah. What's the name of that movie?
I don't.
So,
Made in America.
I'm just saying. Made in America. Yeah. Sam Barham, 823, wrote, "Did your dad work for CIA?" And if he did, no, I would say no. But he could have been. At best, he was like someone they would like hire.
Can we all agree that it's very unlikely that his dad was just a church missionary?
I never saw him do missionary work. That's the crazy thing. That's what's weird. I never saw him do missionary.
Hey.
Never did I once see him do missionary. But that's what's crazy. How do you get along?
Did he bring a Bible with him?
Huh?
Did he have a Bible with him when you guys was going?
Man, my dad I never saw him read a Bible.
Wow. Because I would think that would be like part of your like everyday carry if you were like going to do missionary work, right?
Yeah.
I'm just throwing it out there. Like, if he's out there just trying to spread the word of God.
You know what's crazy too is that I have.
How many Bibles were in your house?
My dad had an uncle who was in who had a huge like organization in Thailand. My dad's uncle. That claimed they were missionaries too, and they were making really successful.
So hold on, real quick. So your dad had an organization. It was really
my dad's uncle, my grandfather's brother.
You got anybody in your family named Frank Lucas?
No, what's that? They have a big organization in Thailand, and I should get a hold of them because I should get in touch with these are people I remember. All these stories. My dad worshipped these guys.
You know, it really sounds like you're describing the movie American Gangster, right?
I don't even
With
know
Denzel.
That. Really?
Or Thailand? Where they get
I honestly
in the military, Vietnam, Thailand, heroin, back to the United States.
I honest to God have direct family in Thailand that does missionary work, and they claim that they're just preaching the word of God. That's what they claim. And Corey, I swear to you, and I can show you this. And my dad's always worshipped them. And I remember my great uncle.
So now we got another drug hotspot going on where your dad used to worship people. That
Yeah, this is like fuck.
Oh,
this is fucking me up.
Vietnam, where they were smuggling drugs back from Vietnam to the Vietnam area from Thailand.
Robert TR 258 one Bible in the house made of Kevlar. That's funny.
How many Bibles were in your house?
No, there's Bibles in my house.
How many?
My mom was definitely a religious woman. My mom, she was the most nicest person you ever meet. She never swore, never did anything bad. My mom, I love my mom, man.
I'm just throwing
my
it out there.
mom swore by the
If
Bible.
my father was a missionary and he didn't bring a Bible with him to go on one of these trips that he was going to go talk to some people at,
Yeah.
I would assume that he would have a Bible. And like I would assume
That's
you would
true.
know. You would know.
My dad always told me that he was doing stuff like
Why don't you
that.
tell me your favorite Bible verse?
My favorite Bible? Or whose?
Yeah, because like I'm assuming if your dad was so like damn it, super damn it religious, you would know. Like, give me a good Bible verse.
John 3:16.
Yeah, that's wow. Like you would think that he would be preaching.
John
about-
3:16.
he would-
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
best one.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is the best one, though. You
Oh,
can't
I
deny
don't
it.
even know what it is,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like you would
For
assume that
God so
you
loved the world
would
that He
know-
gave His only begotten Son.
Your father
That's
worked
it.
for the church, got paid
Yeah.
by the church, funded a family of 4 without his wife working, and then you never bothered to teach his son a Bible verse.
He tried to. I just wasn't listening. I'm not
Really?
very religious.
Like you got to remember one.
John 3:16.
Well, that's just a word. That's just saying John.
All right, how about
3:16.
Genesis?
Okay, just give me like the actual
Genesis 1:1. I
No,
mean,
you're
the
just
first
saying- no,
thing I
you're
ever
just
read in the
saying- You're
Bible.
just saying titles, but tell me what is Genesis?
Genesis is the beginning. I know that.
Explain. What's the first line of Genesis?
And then there was light. That's not it.
So like these are things that you would expect to be like. I'm not saying that like
Is that the first
if
line of the Bible?
Your,
And then
if
there
your
was
dad
light?
really made all this money off of church and lived in
The first verse is that the first line of the Bible? And then there was light. I think that's the first.
No,
Really?
I don't. I'm not.
I think that
no,
is.
no. But like, do you realize the fact that you're not. Like you would assume while you guys were on the plane, your dad would be talking. If he was going to do missionary work, he'd be talking to you about the Bible.
Someone wrote Sam Barham 823 wrote. So what's up with all the alien stuff? LOL. Has anyone ever seen or witnessed anything out of the ordinary? Shit flying in the sky that definitely isn't man-made. I think there's definitely aliens. I hope Trump. Yeah, if Trump lives up to what I think he could be, which is the man who exposes aliens finally, that the government, all the government secrets that we've known about, then I would say it was worth it for Trump. That's my thing.
You know, I look at it like this. I mean, so when I was a kid, there was 9 planets, and then there was 8 in the solar system, and then all of a sudden they put a telescope up there, and then there was like all kinds of planets and stars, and then I know that if you have an infinite amount of monkeys and an infinite amount of typewriters, eventually one day you'll get Shakespeare with an infinite amount of time. So,
I don't even know what the hell you just said.
well, if you have an infinite amount of monkeys and an infinite amount of typewriters and an infinite amount of time, eventually the combinations of the letters will be Shakespeare.
Really?
So now that being said,
So you're saying we're
if, we
monkeys?
have, if anybody that says they know anything doesn't know, like because no one knows.
Yeah.
But that's like, you know what? I hope there's somewhere better or something great. I'm not Mr. Christian guy, but I hate. You know what? It sounds way better than, most of my other options that people tell me about. But guess what? I'm cool with saying I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to be a dick.
Do you think it'd be cool if there are aliens? Come on, like there are aliens, and it turns out the whole
Okay,
time.
so hold up. Like, so let's think about this real quick. Let's say there are aliens, right?
Yeah.
And they can like just get over here. Like they can
Yeah.
be faster than the speed of sound. You don't think they'll be dicks?
The speed of sound. That speed of sound.
Or
is
speed
slow.
of, speed of light. Okay. Oh, yeah, speed of sound too would be cool, I guess. But like,
That's
just
slow. We could
just
do speed of sound.
realistically. What do
Yeah.
you think? What do you think aliens would do if they just showed up? Like, hey, we just want to kick it with these guys that are stupid.
No, I think aliens would be more evolved than we are.
Yeah, and
And I think that if I would like to know, I would feel more secure in the fact that like,
But why
there's
would they
a-
want to kick it with us?
Exactly. But I would feel more secure if there were aliens here, and this whole time they're at least monitoring us and making sure we're not too stupid and too much like
See, I'm
On the far side, like, where we're gonna kill each other.
I've been reading about the.
I would love that.
I've been reading about the Anunnaki thing. I mean, hey,
You love Anunnakis. You love that.
but like, I'm just saying, like, why would they care? And what's the point? Like,
Why would
you know
who
what?
care?
Like, what do they? You know, if they wanted to just take the planet, what do you just think they just want to watch us like we're a fish tank?
But that's because Corey, it's like when you go to the zoo, there's a lion sitting there, right? The lion's looking at us like, why would they care about me? They doesn't know. Monkeys don't know, but we do care about them, and we do care about preserving like those lower life forms. We do. So why wouldn't a higher? Yo, I just saw a thing by Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he said,
did you just almost say a higher power?
yeah,
Treat us like a zoo.
But yeah, think about this. Yo, Neil deGrasse Tyson. I was watching a video of him, and he said that we are 98% the same DNA as a monkey, right? And so that 2% difference, though, is what makes us humans and what makes monkeys monkeys. And that 2% difference means that if you take the smartest monkey on Earth, that smartest monkey can do basically what equivalent of what a 2-year-old human baby could do, right? The smartest monkey with the highest
Yeah, and my homeboy had a parrot that knew what colors
think
were.
about that though. But think about that. That means that if there was a species more evolved that was 2% smarter than us, that means that the
You don't think they
smartest
have their
human
own-
would
so-
be
so
able to
what,
do
they
what
have their
their
mus-
babies could do, which would be calculus or something like that. You know what I mean? So that means so think about that. Like think about how far 2% difference in DNA goes.
Here's my thing.
get what I'm saying?
Here's all I can say. Like, I really highly doubt. Everybody thinks we're so important. Like, I don't think.
I
If
agree
there
with
are,
that,
if there
bro.
are aliens out there, there's an Anunnaki. Do you really think they care? Like, hey, let's just roll by and like check on them. Like,
Yeah, but maybe they know. But that's the thing. You're too dumb to know what the importance of a human.
Are you. And that's the point.
Think about exactly. I agree with that.
That's what I'm saying. Hey, guess what? I'll find out one day.
Think about this. Like, if you want to look for the evidence of God, right? You can't look for the evidence of God like in a book. So, like, here's what I'm telling you. If you take the author of a book, right, who wrote have you ever read a novel?
All I can say is this.
Have you ever read a
We're
novel?
going to jump off religion because it gets weird. I'm just going to say this. I, Corey Harrison, am comfortable saying, I don't fucking know.
Yeah, me neither.
And I'm not going to tell anybody that I'm right or they're wrong.
I agree.
Because guess what? I don't fucking know.
Maybe we're talking
I
about-
think
yeah.
I think anybody that's absolutely certain that there is something is just as silly as somebody that says that there absolutely isn't.
All right. Well, Sam Barham 823 has a good question here. What's your first question you're asking an alien if you were to encounter one right now? That's a good question. I like that question. What would be your first question if you encountered an alien? What would be your question? You have one question.
UDTF? But
I know what mine would be. I know what mine would be.
It would be like what?
Mine would be, can I go with you? Can I go back with you? Can you please take me on that ship and take me with you? I would love to just.
I would like, who put something in my drink?
Would you go on a spaceship if an alien had one? Would you want to be like, yeah, I'll do this?
I mean, I got in a girl's car that said she owned a strip club one time and brought me to a cornfield, bro.
I have an idea for. So I wrote. I like to write music and stuff, but like, there's a music idea. I think it's a movie idea where we go on an alien spacecraft, right? Check this out. You and me are on an alien spacecraft, and we're always drinking. We want to do drugs and fuck around, like because we're humans, right? And the aliens like, what the fuck are you guys doing here? And most of the aliens are like, why did we bring them on our spaceship? And it's for a reason, though, right?
The Earth is
And
like the
so-
trailer park of the universe.
Yeah, so basically, like the aliens like let us like just roam about the ship, right? And then we come upon a room, though, Corey, you and I, where this is crazy. We look through the window of this door, and we're like, what the fuck? And in this room, there's something in there that represents everything every human ever could want in their life.
So
And we looked through that-
hold on
and we
real
looked
quick.
at that
By the
door.
way, to answer your question, my real answer to the question would be like, so, what's up?
What if aliens had something that could be everything you ever wanted right there?
Like the holodeck in Star Trek?
No, it's not the holodeck. It's just something that could, when humans, we have urges, we have things where like, oh, I want to
like
do
the
this, I want to
holodeck
do
in
this.
Star
You're
Trek.
hungry, or you want to have sex, you want a hot woman, you want to be rich.
Is that not what the holodeck in Star Trek
But
is?
like, there's all of a sudden there's something there that gives you everything. Everything. Wouldn't that be crazy if you saw that in a room?
I mean, like,
Can your brain even imagine
yeah, that'd
that?
be great. But like, so I don't know.
Maybe I'm the alien.
What if
here.
cucumbers tasted better not pickled?
Corey, you don't understand. You look at the way you dress. Like, we all have deep desires and needs. Every human being does. But I bet you if there's a higher species out there, they would sum up all those desires and needs into one
You
thing.
have to stop watching like big thick YouTube videos, bro. Like
I'm
hey,
not.
You
I'm not even
sound
watching that. I'm saying, wouldn't that be crazy?
I mean, yeah, it would be awesome to have everything I wanted when I wanted it.
Just
It's called
saying.
being Elon Musk, bro.
Elon Musk doesn't know what that is. Trust me, he's searching too. He's searching. We're all searching.
With $500 billion, I'm pretty sure I could give it a good go.
I would want to know. I guess I figured it out. This is why therapy works, because in therapy you talk. I would want to know if I saw an alien in front of me, I'd be like, what is it that we truly desire, humans, and how can we satisfy that desire, if there's even a way? And if there is a way, I would say, can you bring me or give me something that would satisfy all my desires? And then could I just go on a spaceship with you after? Is that weird?
I mean, a little bit.
All right, well, that's why I would ask.
I mean,
You asked me. They asked. The world, Sam Barham
That would
asked.
just be like, hey, what's going on?
Huh?
But like you're an alien. I'm not an alien. Guess what? Why don't you start this conversation off?
Yeah.
Like I don't,
Yeah. All right. I just think that's even aliens need a high school science project. I guess that's true. I wonder what an aliens high school science project would be, and it would probably be us.
It'd be
We would be
Birdie.
Imagine if we were just the aliens high school science. What if human beings on Earth
What every human being
were
is like the
just as high school? That's a good.
Oh, no,
point.
every single human being is just like the cheap version of the high school volcano in science class.
Yeah.
Like, it's like that's the
Yeah,
it's where
imagine we're-
everybody got phoned in. Like,
Yeah.
it's like the simplest, the easiest high school science project. It's like that's what humans are.
Yeah, that's it. That could be what we are. I did do that. I did do that thing in high school where I took like a swab of something and I put it in a petri dish to grow bacteria. What if we're just that? What if we're just like a swab and we're in a petri dish and that's all we are, humans, and we think we're the shit, but we're really just in a petri dish. Mind blown.
Guess we'll never know.
Huh?
Guess we'll never know.
Yeah, I don't think we ever know. I think trying to figure that out is like asking a character in a novel to figure out that they're created by an author. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, characters in novels don't exist, but
They do exist when you're reading about them.
what's the next thing going on there?
All right,
This has gotten pretty unhinged.
it is unhinged. Corey, so I think that I want to address something with you, bro.
What's that?
There was a time, and I think this could be a credit to you or it could be a knock. I don't know. But there was a time when on Pawn Stars, there was an item that came into the shop. You remember this? I'm not sure if
the time an item came into the shop on Pawn Stars, I couldn't tell you. Yeah, sure.
Okay, there's an item. Let me finish that. There's an item that came in that was mishandled by our production assistant. And
Was it the?
don't say it.
something to do with something that it came in a blue.
Don't say what it is.
It came in a blue package, right?
Maybe, but don't say what it is. But there's an item that was mishandled by a production assistant, and I remember it was mishandled in front of us, and this was an expensive item. It was worth a lot of money. I don't want to say what it is because I think I'm hoping this person is not reading this or watching. Sorry. And you handle that dope to me in a dope way. Remember that? And it made me see you as a human being for the first time in my life. Because before that, I was like, this guy's a dick. He's hard to work with. This guy, I can't do anything with this guy. And I thought you were just so selfish and just self-centered, everything. And then all of a sudden, you showed your ability to be part of a team, and you stood up for the production assistant who could have allegedly damaged an item. We don't know if she really did, but she could have damaged an item. You remember that?
Yeah, I do. What's your question?
I don't know if there is a question. I'm saying, you want to talk about that?
With a virgin?
Huh?
You ever been with a virgin?
Yes, I have.
Not me.
What does that mean? I don't get what that means.
Wasn't she a virgin?
That's just so weird.
Just trying to like make way there, you know.
I'm asking you.
Just trying to get in so I can fit in, you know.
I think do you want to? But okay, I'll ask you questions.
Yeah, I'm joking. No, like she was cool. Like she would have definitely lost her job. She was a young kid. Like she didn't deserve to lose a job. And I mean, hell.
But do you want to talk about this situation? Can I go into more detail?
You can tell about the whole damn thing. I don't care.
Really? You don't care?
Yeah, no, I don't care about any of it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna tell you what happened. It was an item that. All right,
guys. So Jairus is going to try to sugarcoat it, so I'm just going to say exactly how blatant it is. Okay, so somebody came in with a really, really expensive comic book, and it was in really, really good condition. And we already had a guy that actually looked at it and kind of gave it an appraisal. He's like, "Holy shit, this is worth a lot of money." And the production assistant grabbed it to take it back out, dropped it, grabbed it by one page in the center of the book, and halfway ripped the middle of the book's page out, basically destroying what the value of the comic book was. Now, unfortunately, there's no way to actually explain to this guy that, hey, your shit's worth a lot of money. But the production assistant, who I actually kind of like, and she's pretty cool, she's not going to not lose a job. And so I said that my wife at the time had a miscarriage or something, and I had to like dip the hell out, and that's why we couldn't film with it.
What did you say about your wife?
Either she was having a baby or she was having something like a miscarriage or something. Like it was one or the other. Those are my two good ones and shit with that. Yeah. No, I mean it was. Yeah, she was like, she was a cool chick. I was like, she was struggling.
Oh my god, the person who owned the comic book is watching us live. He says, "I knew it." No, I'm just kidding.
Come to Mexico and do something about it, homie.
No, okay, yeah, Corey, you did do that. That was dope. I was shocked. I saw in the moment, flipping through the pages, it was just like a millimeter of a rip, but that could lower the value.
No, it was half the page. It was half the page.
Was it?
Absolutely.
I guess, yeah.
It was half the page, and it was like before you got there, that's when they called you to come in, and I had already packaged it shut.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah. And you came up with that lie in the spot. Where do you think those instincts come from?
Being a pawnbroker my whole life.
Really? But wait, elaborate, please, because I would like to know what you mean by that.
Dude, it's just like talking about your dad, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you got to be kind of quick on your toes and see what kind of thing is going on right now and what you got to do and what you got to get out of it.
By the way, I'm calling Birdie real quick.
Cool.
All right, hold on. Hey, I was wondering if you could bring me, some more alcohol.
A refreshment. I got it. Okay.
A refreshment. I should just say refreshment. I didn't have to say that. Oh, Corey, watch out with the cable, Corey. You're pulling the cable. Corey, you're pulling the cable.
See you in a minute. Bye.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Corey just left the building. He's coming back, though. Corey? Oh, he's using the restroom. So I'll just entertain you guys for a couple of minutes. I'll say this. I'll say, has anyone's watching? Have you guys heard about the Scarecrow who won a Lifetime Achievement Award? This is a true story. There's a scarecrow that won a Lifetime Achievement Award. And they said he was outstanding in his field. That's my joke. That's the only joke I got. But this is real life, so this is what we do. There he is. He's back. Can you? Yeah, there he is. Oh, there is more toilet paper. It's in the other room. Corey was about to drag a whole camera in there.
But you know what? So like this is what's funny, guys. This is my favorite part about filming the show with this guy is it's all fun and games till you got to be in front of the camera.
Yeah, it is.
You see that smile? He don't have that smile on his face every day. Like it's like look at his dimples. Like he's just
What?
constantly cheesing.
I love this, though. I love this. I love being live, bro. I love it. You can't mess around when you're live. You know, you just can't mess around. By the way, I called Birdie over to give us some refreshments.
You know, it's like 4 feet away.
Oh, is it? Where?
Stop talking to my girl, dude. She's getting creeped out.
Yeah, I don't think she is. Birdie and I are good friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to let you know.
My girl's not allowed to have friends.
I want to let you know, ladies and gentlemen, that Birdie is my good friend, and I don't know. Corey's the one that greenlit that. I think she's coming in right now.
Where the fuck up?
There you go.
Breaking and entering.
Thank you.
Kool-Aid for you.
Could you put some pants on if you're gonna come in here?
I have pants on, to be fair.
Yeah.
You just take them off because
Thank
Jairus
you.
is in here. Is that what's going on? Like, just, get out of here! Get out of here! Get out of
Oh
here!
my God! What? Whoa!
You can ask for a drink. Okay, listen.
All right, we're live. This is live, dog. Are you happy? Wait, Birdie, you forgot to close the curtain. Oh no! I'll get it.
You know, dude, like she's getting way too comfortable. She didn't have pants on.
No, yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
That's a lie. She had pants. She would not walk in.
Bikini bottoms and underwear are the same thing.
Yeah. All right. So, where were we? Let's prank call Chum Lee. Do you want to do that?
No,
Oh, someone wrote, Jairus, you be holding it down, man. We got to get you a raise. Thank you. That's from Sam Barham, 823. Yo.
Jairus has a
Thank you.
PayPal, Sam.
Huh?
Jairus has a PayPal. You could hook him up.
Listen, right now, let's just face it. We're a new show, and we're trying to gather an audience. And if you guys like this show, we appreciate it because you guys are the founding followers of the show, and I think that's dope, right? But we will soon hope that, like, we can monetize this, right, and make some money. That's what we want to do. That's why we're in the game, right? But I love this. I could do this all day. I could do this all night with the fans.
I mean, like judging by my experiences lately, I'm not really good at riding motorcycles anymore. And the other thing else I know how to do is be on TV. So I mean, this gives me something to do.
By the way, do you want to prank call Chum Lee though?
No. Chumley's got some stuff going on in his life that is not time to prank call him.
Huh?
I'm not gonna prank call Chumley.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, he's like, you know how that dude is.
I got you. He's probably asleep by now.
Or he's gonna be freaking out about some Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Love
This
you,
is
Chum.
but this is from Robert TR2585. He wrote, any crazy groupie stories from the Pawn Stars Do America tour? And I would actually like to know this too. I think you should let us know. Can you do that?
I ended up engaged off that show. And prior to that, God, it's so weird that my girlfriend's named Birdie because I call girls groupies birds and stuff. That's what I used to say. So I can't really say like there was. I love every girl.
What does that mean?
You know, every town I've been in, I've been.
You love, what do you mean you love every girl? That doesn't make any sense.
It wasn't a bad time to be single. Put it that way.
Yeah. You guys are famous, man. You know, and you're
You
on the
remember when
road.
we did the Pawn Stars Do America tour. Like, remember, I had been on TV at that point for like almost 14 years, 15
Yeah.
years. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's in Las Vegas, LA. Like, I'm not really all that cool, but like in Kentucky,
Yeah. Dude, you were famous everywhere, though. In New York, California, you could go anywhere. Texas.
yeah, but the chances of you meeting the more prestigious, if you're just like the kind of girl that's just gonna hook up with a celebrity, like you could get a way cooler celebrity than me in
yeah.
a lot of cities.
Yeah.
Anderson, Indiana, I'm the dude.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting because, like, but so like you're on the road though, and did people like, was it announced where you were going to be like?
Yep. It was on the
Okay,
radio
so people, it was
channels.
like, so you're like a rock band on tour.
God, yeah, but like we also did that in the very beginning of the show too. Like we were going around doing like these, these appearances. God, it was like 40 a year we were doing for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
So, do I have groupie stories? I don't kiss and tell, but
Yes, you do.
I tell you, not
Yeah.
in the world, bro. Like I don't think.
Because you've kissed some crazy people. You kissed some celebrities, and just saying, you kissed some celebrities.
You want me to kick you in the fucking ass right now?
What's wrong with that? Ladies and gentlemen, Corey has kissed some famous people. He can't say it, but he has. Okay, I'll just say, yeah. Good for you.
My love for Latin women did not start in Mexico.
Yo, how many times have you been engaged, Corey?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest, guys. Guess when you own a pawn shop,
Yeah. You get engaged a
it's
lot?
like, you know what? Like an engagement ring kind of is like an apology ring. It's not like I
You
gotta,
you do have a lot of engagement rings in there.
yeah, and I don't have to pay a lot of money for them. So like, I mean, honestly, like, hey, there's ones that matter, there's ones that didn't, there's ones I love, there's ones I kind of loved a little bit less. Big shout out to hey, Bianca, Yankee. I know you're up there. I know you. Hey, you'll always be my girl.
So how many times have you been engaged? Have you been married as many
I've
times?
been married twice.
And is that the only times you've been engaged? You've been engaged more?
Oh, like at least 10 times, dude.
Oh, damn! I didn't know that.
Okay, so like here's life with Corey Harrison. I don't like to go out all that much, okay, realistically. So and I kind of like stuff to happen in the morning. So like,
Including weddings.
and chances are her house sucks. Like I got my house that's kind of set up to the way I like my stuff. So they end up spending a lot of nights there. And now I might just ghost someone for 3, 4, 5 days and not talk to him, but I still like him
Yeah.
after about because I can be a selfish prick and I know it. I'm working on myself. I'm working on it. And like if you've been seeing this person for a lot of months, maybe you just might have to swing by the pawn shop, grab an engagement ring, and just like it just kind of shuts down the whole like you're a dick move. Like
That's like, so you just have a plethora of engagement rings that you're.
a whole store full of them.
But when you take an engagement ring from the shop, do you have to buy it from the shop, or do you
Yeah.
just take it? Oh, you buy it?
Yeah, but I bought
Okay.
it from like Pookie the crackhead, bro.
So there's 10 women out there who are like, oh, Corey wants to spend the rest of his life with me. Only 2 made it all the way to the big stage.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I mean, like, because fucking divorces are expensive, bro.
And Sam Barham wanted to follow up. He said, I just recently got engaged for the first time in 6 months in. It
Have you
went
ever met a
south.
happily married man, bro?
Who?
Sam.
Okay, Corey's asking you that, Sam. Have you ever been a happily married man?
Have you ever met one?
But Sam wrote, I just recently got engaged for the first time, and 6 months in it, it went south real fast. And luckily, I was able to get away before it was too late.
Congratulations.
Has that ever happened to you? You ever gotten engaged and
8 times.
I'm saying, But those 8 times, are you the one that pulled out before it's too late?
I pulled out every time, bro.
100%, 60% of the time.
No, yeah. I mean, like, trust me. Like, this is gonna. I'm not trying to sound like a chauvinistic pig,
But you are. But let's just face it.
I mean, 90% of every girl I've ever been with, I could still call and we're still cool. Like, we still talk.
Yeah, you are amazingly. There's a high percentage of exes that you're friends with. That's weird. I don't understand that. I feel like what was going on?
Because I don't grenade everything like you do.
Grenaded, but I feel like if it was real, like the relationship was real, then when it ends, it's gonna really be bad when it ends because you two, there should be some hurt. But like if it's like you're friends with them still, how much were you both
It don't
really?
have to, see, that's the thing. It don't have to go like completely sideways. It could go like, hey, this ain't gonna work out forever.
Yeah.
That's why you're engaged.
Okay.
It don't have to be like, oh, well, I gotta figure out her ways of doing things. Like, nope, this ain't gonna work. I'm out.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think your best low key, what's your best Mexican food in Las Vegas?
El Dorado Cantina.
What?
El Dorado Cantina.
Okay, you heard that. Robert TR 2585. Best low key Mexican food in Las Vegas is
El Dorado Cantina. 100%.
Really?
Yep.
Have I been there? I don't remember.
And the building it's in is even better.
Wow, you heard it. You heard it.
You know where El Dorado is, right? It's in Sapphires.
I definitely have not been there. Then I have a strict rule. I don't eat at strip clubs.
No, it's because it's a separate restaurant.
I don't care. I don't eat at strip clubs, dog.
It's not inside the strip club. It's got its own thing. But
Then why is it Sapphires?
listen, they share a building, but you can't go enter and out. It's not.
Okay.
They have nothing to do with each other.
Okay, all right. I don't. I don't eat in strip clubs, and I don't think I have to elaborate
It's
on that.
no GMOs. No GMOs. Like a really, really good, like clean, fresh, good Mexican food.
Really,
Yep.
just good. What does that mean by GMO? Is that what we're facing here? We're not facing that.
No, we don't have anything to do with that. I mean, like Las Vegas is what they have. So yeah,
Okay.
just El Dorado Cantina.
Okay, you heard that. You heard that live, folks. Yeah, I think that people here, I think that they want to know some things that are happening to you personally in your life, and we've touched on a lot of personal things, and we don't need to go back. But do you still want to is there something from Pawn Stars that you want to still touch on?
I got no hate or anything for Pawn Stars.
Not that, but I mean, do you want to still go over items and talk about the value of them?
You know what, man? Unless I can buy them and make money off you, there's no point.
We saw your shoe game. It's dope. You got a dope shoe game. What about your watch game? Is it still dope?
What about it?
What do you got? What are you wearing right now?
A Rolex Daytona?
A what? Just tell me. What do you wear?
Rolex Daytona.
Show us. Go center. Why? That's a dope watch. Why are you not?
Because I'm in Mexico, bro.
By the way, it's raining outside. You hear that? I love that.
No, man. I just hey, I don't wear stuff like that to be flashy, man. I've already been.
Yeah. I appreciate that you're addressing all your fans right now. I think that we're about to wind down. If you guys have any last minute questions you want to ask Corey, I think we're down to do that. Corey, what do you think?
All right, I'll make it real quick and simple for you guys. Yes, the old man was that crotchety and mean, but I loved him to pieces. Chumley at times could be that silly and dumb. My dad is that smart, and so if I just knocked out most of the questions, guys, just go ahead and let me know.
Do you think you ever? Here's the last question. From Robert TR 2585, and people like you, Corey. I don't know why people like you, but they seem to like you. That's pretty cool.
You're here.
Any chance you'll open up a pawn shop in Mexico?
You know what, man? Almost 100% no.
Yeah. Why not?
Well, you got to understand, like I'm too old, man. Like to open up a pawn shop and like actually.
Talking about your dad's running one right now. Your old man ran one way past your age.
Yeah, man. You know how long it makes. You're collecting interest on money, man. So once you got to get your interest up there to where it's actually funding your business.
Gotcha.
So like honestly, like to collect enough interest, it takes about 8 years for a pawn shop to make money on stuff.
Yeah. Also, either one of you a sneakerhead? If so, how many pairs you got? I am not a sneakerhead. I wear sneakers until they wear out, and I get a new pair of sneakers. But I do appreciate sneakers. I think they're dope, and I try to always.
Not as much as Chubbly. I've got a few hundred pairs, but it's more than likely.
You're a sneakerhead then.
But I really don't. I wear them all. I don't like keep them wrapped up and like just refuse to wear something.
Yeah, Sam Barham 823 said, if you do open up a pawn shop, bro, if you do, let me come work for you. And if he does want to work for you, maybe he can work for you in another capacity.
You know what, man? If I ever open up a pawn shop, I'll check you out, bro.
Yeah, but maybe Sam Barham has a special set of skills. You never know. He might have them. And if he does, hit us up. Let us know what your special set of skills are. All right? You never know. Sam Broham, it says it's been his dream to become a pawn shop broker. Where do you guys like to hang out in Tulum? But that's from Derek KD YER 8011. Where do you like to hang out in Tulum?
If I'm going to the beach, it's more than likely Gitanos or something like that. And I keep it kind of low key, guys. I mean, honestly, like it's, I got 2 houses on the same piece of property. I don't pay this much in rent to go hang out at someone else's spot.
Yeah. For me, I like walking around. I like seeing something new. Maybe hit up a random bar. I do love the taco stand that is right down the street from us. It's Argentinian, dude. Best tacos in the fucking world. It's just like a little taco shack. That's it. That's my love.
Isn't it kind of weird that the best tacos around here are from an Argentinian where they don't have tacos?
Yeah, but like it's like a real street taco stand. If you saw this place in the daytime, you'd be like, I'm not eating from there. But ladies and gentlemen, I think Corey and I have hit our limit here. We have our. I think people are like really starting to like
rapid fire, guys. We got about 3 minutes left.
Rapid fire. There you go. Yeah. Because Corey, by the way, Corey, I appreciate you coming and doing the show tonight. I know Corey is still suffering from his motorcycle injury. I know he is. I'm not going into details about it, but there's issues that are still like they're rearing up, and I think that you're still dealing with stuff. And I appreciate you coming on and doing this.
Yeah, I mean, when you shatter your ribcage, it sucks, bro. You never know what exactly gets to happen. Yeah, no, I'll be fine.
Yep. Blonde or brunette? Well, that's the last question we're going to take from you. Blonde or brunette, Corey?
I mean, it all depends on their eyebrows and their teeth.
I'm not going to say what I like.
Yeah, I'm
not going to say what I like. I like
skinny blonde.
No, that's you. I like people. I like women. I do like women. Okay?
Hold on. Cece's hit me up.
What? Who?
All right. Yeah, I can't say that, Cece.
Later, Robert. Later, guys.
Hey, you guys take it easy. Do me a favor. If you guys like this or you guys don't like it, let me know. Like, tell me what you don't like. Tell me what's up. If you do like it, do me a favor. Like, hit the subscribe or like button. Appreciate every one of you guys for hanging out.
I definitely do. Yeah, appreciate you guys as well. Thank you for tuning in.
If you watched it the whole time, then tell somebody.
Corey appreciates it. If you guys want to hit us up on the comments, we'll respond to anything you guys want us to talk about. This is the Hoss Camp. It's a live show, and we're gonna go on Kick as well. So we hope to see you guys soon. Right, Corey? Peace.
Take care, guys.